pretty clean. I think they did a good job.
Yeah. Good cleaning crew.
Here's our Red Terran player. Plays for TSL. You've seen him before. He is
GSL Alive.
GSL Alive. He's had a couple GSL appearances. He's done pretty well.
Yeah, he actually, and even though he's done well in the GSL a little bit, I think he's kind of more, we know him more from a couple 3 kills in the last couple GSTLs.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good player in the team league. Made it to round of 16, as you can see on your screen.
Yep.
Last time.
Yeah, he beat Cezanne last season in the round of 32, and then lost to Supernova, who actually ended up going to the finals of Code A. So nothing.
Now here's our challenger. How appropriate this is the last match of the day, because this is
MVP finale.
There you go, MVP finale. Ending things on a high note, we hope, with these games. I'm sure we will. MVP, again, a very up-and-coming team. They kind of remind me a little bit of Slayers, like 2 seasons ago, where they had a lot of new players that hadn't really been proven.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point. Yeah, Slayers started off really slow, and then recently, they have what, 7 players in the GSL this season or something like that?
Well, MVP, or you're talking about Slayers?
Slayers, yeah. Slayers has now really kind of come into their own.
I think, they really have. Of course, they won the team league that preceded this season. They defeated Incredible Miracle in an incredible fashion. But MVP, again, I have to say it again, 5 players making it through the Code A qualifiers. That is amazing. And of course, MVP does still have 1 player in Code S as well, in MVP Genius.
Yep.
Of course, a very popular Protoss player at the start of StarCraft 2, won BlizzCon last year. And since then hasn't quite had the success that we kind of thought he would, but he's got a long career ahead of him, obviously, so we'll see if he's able to improve on that.
Yeah.
Now, players spawning in cross positions on this map, so they've got a huge window of room to expand, to do whatever sort of tech they want.
Yeah, they both scouted each other out and are going to see what's going on. Stalker's coming out, being chrono boosted, and Marina's out as well, so the scouts are going to get killed pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah, Alive he was actually in GSL Open Season 3, the 3rd GSL, until he got eliminated by Jelizer. So he actually had enough points to get into the Code A tiebreaker. Remember, they kind of counted up points, and there were several players. They had a couple spots in Code S, and they had several players. He actually got far enough in the tiebreakers, beat a few people in a row to get that spot, or one of the spots in Code S, only to fall in the round of 32 to top. So,
now, TSL Alive, I believe his old name was Love Rip, wasn't it? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Finale's old name was Love
Finale.
Rip, yeah.
I knew it was one of these 2 guys. Yeah, Finale, MVP Finale. Because he was in another previous GSL season as well himself. He was in, I believe, Season 2 or 3 of the Opens last year.
Season 2. He just barely got into it and was eliminated 0-2 by the Wind in the first round, so he's got an appearance under his belt.
So kind of nice that he changed his name, too. I think Finale is a little bit better name than Love Rip.
Yeah.
Love Rip.
I would agree with that.
Yep. Wonder what was sitting on his desk when
I
he
think
named
the puns are probably...
I don't want to know.
The puns are a little bit easier to make with Finale.
That's right. My chair is so wobbly today. It's like scary. I lean back a little bit, and then I you know that feeling you have where you think you're going to fall backwards in your chair and then you stop? Well,
I usually actually fall.
Oh, well, good thing you're not in this chair then, because we're like a little bit higher. We're not as high as like Tastosis was in the previous seasons and the last season when I cast with Kelly. We were pretty high up, those chairs. But this season we're a little bit lower. But the stools this one's kind of scary to sit on. I don't know.
Now we do see a Reaper coming out for Alive to go ahead and get us scouted. And this is a good map for it, actually. There's a lot of little cute places where you can jump up a Reaper in the corner of your opponent's base. I'm actually surprised players don't block that a little bit more often.
Well, Reapers, even if they do get in your base,
blocking.
they just get killed by Stalkers. So you're perfectly fine.
Reapers have the coolest death animation.
Yeah.
They like spin flying up into the air as their jetpack malfunctions.
That's right. They like ascend into oblivion in a glorious fashion.
Yeah.
And maybe are reborn again as other units. Although I can't think of any Terran units they might come back as. Maybe Ravens.
No.
Maybe Ravens have the brains of Reapers inside them.
Do Ravens have brains in them?
Well, we don't see them a whole lot in StarCraft 2, but if they did, I believe that they would.
Maybe.
The one thing that Ravens keep saying over and over again is, why don't you build Hunter Seeker Missile? Because it's the best spell in the game.
It has the potential.
Just my opinion. It's totally underused.
So we do see both players expanding quickly. Alive has not floated his CC out yet. He's playing a little bit cautiously, making sure he knows what's going on. Another SCV is running out. He just cannot get a scout in. No. Wow. Finally, Comsats as the SCV goes down. He just really wanted to know what was going on and really did not want to spend a scan for it. Finally, Comsats and only sees a Robo and a couple gates, so he's really still in the dark because the Robo Blade went up after the scan.
Yeah, now Alive is playing really safe too this game. I mean, he's staying on one base for a long time. I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing. Ooh, whoa, actually, Finale missing that drop for now. Is he going to see it though?
Whoa, and
this
is he
road.
going to?
Oh boy,
Nope.
it's going to be so close. And he sees it.
Oh, he sees it. But Stim has just finished. Is he going to react in time? He didn't actually see it. His army's still at the front.
Oh.
So this drop is going to go down with nothing to contest it.
Sometimes you miss those blips on your mini-map. Looks like Alive is going to capitalize, moving in, taking out a pylon. He's going to go after the extractor, apparently. Not bad to kill one of those, taking out a few probes as well.
Yeah, he ran away most of the probes pretty quickly, so there wasn't really much of an opportunity for Alive to get any kills.
Now, there is that forward pylon that we just saw, and of course, Finale can use that to warp in as many units as he desires. Well, up to 200 supply anyway, but can do some damage to the natural. And that's also going to let him put pressure a little bit quicker on the third base if Alive ever does get his third base up.
Wow, look at those production facilities. 5 racks and 2 tech labs, and let me see here, 3 tech labs and 2 reactors.
So very similar to what we saw Boxer do last game, actually. Going for very barracks-heavy play.
Yep.
And I think in the early to late game, that is very safe.
Oop,
or no, I'm
and
sorry,
there's that
early
pylon.
to mid-game.
That pylon's going to spot this drop very easily.
It's going to get eliminated there.
Will not spot any other drops ever again.
Nope, that pylon's days are numbered. It's in pieces. Sorry, everyone who was a fan of that pylon. It's gone. Wish we could bring it back, but we're going to have to rely on Finale to make more of units just like that, or buildings. You know, I believe is it this
buildings,
map?
units, same thing.
Is it this map that has the numbers from Lost in it? There's one of the maps, you know.
Yes, it is.
It's somewhere. Maybe we'll see him. Of course, Lost, that famous show or whatever. It's about an island, I guess.
Was there a show about an island called Lost?
There was.
No, I actually watched a little bit of that, but never enough to really get into it. I was briefly sort of homeless and was unable to watch the season that I'd borrowed from one of Diggity's roommates, actually.
You didn't just like dig a hole in the ground and make a new home?
No.
See, that was a joke where I used your ID.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Diggity. I didn't Diggity a hole to live in.
Well, I was thinking Mole Trap.
Oh, Mole Trap. That works too, yeah.
Never mind. I'm going to give up on ID jokes forever. That was the last one I'm doing. So,
is your career
Finale.
at making jokes not alive? This dropship might get picked off.
Oh, the medevac!
The last shot. That Stalker picks it off.
That was the finale for that medevac. I'm never going to stop. So, looks like Alive using the opportunity of losing his medevac to take a third base. Those two, of course, correlating.
Yeah. Well, actually, he also scoped out Alive's army. So he also knows exactly what his army composition is like. He knows that even though his army is a little skimpy, having taken out a third of his army just there, he's okay with these 2 Colossus because he has enough energy to keep the army back, force field, and just thermal lance from behind the force fields.
So another Forge and a Twilight Council actually going down for Finale. And with this is kind of the point in the game where Versatarian you'd want to get that Zealot speed or possibly Blink, probably Zealot speed, or late game DT.
Hold that thought in the back of the main. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Continue with that thought. Do not hold it because the drop has been canceled.
I'm done. The thought burst from me like one of those aliens in that movie. But not quite as
The thought just came out of your chest and killed you in the process?
It's like actually sticking on my chest right now. I'm going to give it the mic. It's going to
I was wondering what that was, you know?
Well,
I was like, is that an alien or is that a thought about StarCraft?
That's right. I got too close to some eggs in an abandoned spaceship yesterday. I forgot to tell you about that. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you know that, well, I know you know because I told you earlier, but I want to tell all of our viewers that earlier today, or I guess a matter of hours ago, was the exact time that Judgment Day was scheduled to happen in the Terminator lore.
That's right.
So Skynet just went
Well, you know, we're in Korea, so we might not have even noticed.
That's true.
Because all that happened in America.
They hit LA first.
There could be no one in America listening right now because the robots could have been taking over. Oh man, I'm like, I gotta rush home and make sure.
That's right. We still got Boxer. He's still in the series, so he's gonna be able to lead the rebellion.
Even though Skynet may have become self-aware, as long
the
as
Stalkers might get some free kills in the middle.
Oh, here we go. Medevac's taking some damage there. Stalker's blinking back. He did indeed go for blink. And right now, if we look at the Army tab, both players very similar.
Yeah.
Terran is a little bit ahead, so Live does have a slight advantage right now. He does. Both players do have 3 bases up. There's a Ghost Academy for Alive. I don't know, he was watching the last
Yeah, maybe he was watching the last game and saw how effective some EMPs on those sentries can be.
EMP is hugely hopeful.
He doesn't have nearly as many Vikings as we saw in Boxer's game, though. He's only got 2 at the moment, producing 4 more. He's must have had 2 reactors started somewhere.
There was a scan, too, that we just saw.
Yeah.
Seeing the Colossus and not a lot of supporting gateway units. At the same time, there was a small engagement with those Stalkers. So Alive can take advantage of this. He knows that the Army for Finale is kind of split up right now. Yeah. He also did see those Templar, I believe, too, that we just saw. Oh, those Stalkers.
And one gets picked off. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice reaction by both players, actually. I like what Finale is doing here. He's got his Stalkers. He's got Blink. So they're super fast anyway, and they've got Blink so they can get away. So you might as well prod around, put some pressure on, see if you can pick off anything that happens to be out of position.
Yeah, picking off those Stalkers is huge. He's going to try again. And
except every time he does that, he loses a Stalker. He actually has Templar out right now, and they have Psystorm. No, Psystorm is not upgraded. He actually just has Templar for feedback.
He might consider getting Psystorm a little bit later, but
that's
feedback, very helpful, and good against Ghosts, too.
Yeah, exactly. Good against Ghosts and Medevacs.
Yeah.
If he can get a couple snipes in with feedback on the Medevacs.
Yep. Now, Vikings getting replenished very quickly there. The Ghosts bring up the rear for the Terran Army. And
Terran very intelligently has his Ghosts on another hotkey, so he can keep them behind. So they don't just A-move in. And actually a little engagement in the middle. Taking some damage. Templar coming up, though.
Those Viking numbers keep getting lowered by the Stalkers. So when the fight does finally happen, if you notice, Alive is not bringing up his Colossi right now. So he's not only kind of...
Oh, this Ghost getting caught! So close. Now those Templar don't have Storm yet. He may think they do, so he might fight a little bit more cautiously going in for an attack. EMP all of the Templar and the sentries.
The angle not the best for Alive, though. Finale moving in, but the Vikings are taking out the Colossi very, very quickly. And so it looks like the Colossi may go down, but there's going to be enough Stalkers. Possibly it's going to be close, but I think Alive might be able to... Well, he's pulling a lot of probes.
Wow, warping in Templar with feedback.
Yep.
And looking back at the Army tab, they actually end up about even, but definitely a positional advantage and
those Ghosts.
And an economic advantage, I believe, for the Protoss player Finale.
Those Ghosts caught out of position. They did get a couple EMPs off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they actually missed the sentries. I thought they'd hit the sentries, but they didn't. But
he hit the
taking
Templar,
out those Templar
which was pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty helpful. Storm just finishing now for Finale. And weapon level 3 being upgraded by Alive on the other side, so that'll help him take things down very, very quickly. Planetary Fortress being upgraded at that 4th base. He wants to stay extremely, extremely safe. I like that he's getting a turret there as well, just because that'll help him find observers. It'll help him find DTs. A lot of Protoss do go late game DTs, just because you can harass quite a bit with them.
It can really catch your opponent off guard. They have a lot of comsats usually from multiple orbitals, but
I've seen that on the ladder a lot, but not so much in GSL. So.
Take that. Actually, Finale might be looking to press his advantage. Prodding around here. He's got Storm on every one of those Templar. He actually feedbacks.
Nice.
One of the Ghosts.
Storm on the bio units.
He actually does not have... He has 1 EMP. Alive has 1 EMP to spend at the moment.
That's right. And you know what they say. Don't spend it all in one place.
Yeah.
Unless that place is a bunch of sentries.
Yeah, unless he shops bulk and gets all the Templar at once in a package deal.
That's right.
Then it's okay to spend